Hey everybody, okay, so now that you've practiced the rebalance sequence and you've gotten a little taste of the treatment, I want to add some upper body lengthening techniques to our treatment, and we're even going to do a little bit of a neck release technique to just hydrate the cervical spine and see if we can further our practice. And then tomorrow, we're going to add some lower body lengthening techniques to really make some impact to the low back. So let's begin again with our basic rest assess. Make sure that you have your towels rolled up and set them aside. I want you to lie on your back with your palms faced up and your arms and legs extended. Use your body sense now that you know how to do it, and scan your masses and spaces for stuck stress. Remember, daily living causes the imbalances on our body. Every day we want to come back in and try to eliminate them. So remember, common imbalances in the upper body. Where is your torso the most weighted? Remember, if you're feeling most or all of your back weight on your shoulder blades, that's an indication of the accumulative stress that can really alter our cervical stability and our neck mobility. You also want to notice if your mid-back curve is lifted. Remember, if we have a lot of tension in the mid-body, we want to feel a low back curve instead of a mid-back arch. So remember, if you're feeling that common imbalance, check that one. And then again, notice your lower body. Notice if you have any unnecessary tension. Could you relax some of your thigh engagement if you're feeling any unnecessary tension? And then notice, are you lying on your tailbone, common imbalance number 3, or do you feel too evenly weighted butt cheeks? That would be ideal. And then the back thighs. Remember, back thighs are masses. If you're feeling the back of the thighs are off the ground on one or both sides, make a note. We're going to see if we can eliminate some of that with our treatment, even without working on the lower body today. Now remember, if we have a lot of accumulative stress in our body, we're also going to perhaps alter our autopilot's efficiency. So divide yourself into a left and right half from ear to heel. Notice if one entire side of your body feels more weighted or one leg feels longer. Remember, if you're feeling that, the accumulative stress in your connective tissue is altering your autopilot's connection to your center of gravity, and we definitely want to restore autopilot efficiency with this treatment today. Now, because we're going to work also on releasing a little bit of hydration to the neck, turn your head left and right. Notice if you have limited range, pain, or your shoulders move for you to gently turn your head on the ground. Okay, so remember which common imbalances you feel. Bend your knees. You're going to go ahead and roll on your side. Come on up to sitting. And you're going to take your rolled up towels, and we're going to go ahead and lie those down. And remember, all we're going to do is lie the length of them from hip to head. So we're going to bring our hips down onto our roller, and nice and slowly we're going to go ahead and roll down onto our roller. Now, once we've got our spine on our towels, we're going to bring our forearms down to the ground, feet hip width apart. We're going to begin with our gentle rocking. Remember, if you want to close your eyes and breathe, allowing your masses to just gently rock right and left. It's just the act of falling and catching our bodies as we gently rock left to right that will help give our autopilot a little bit of added connection to our center of gravity. If I tied a string from your nose to your sternum to your belly button to your pubic bone, try to gain a sense of all of the masses staying equal in their tipping and staying connected. So we're not turning our head or shifting, we're just gently rocking. Breathing in, noticing the expansion of the breath. Breathing out, noticing the return. And then come back to a center point. Place your hands onto the front of your pelvis, fingertips on your pubic bone, heels of your hands on your hip bones. Keeping your feet light, I want you to try to tuck your pelvis, allowing your pubic bone to curl towards your nose. Notice how you've lost some low back curve. And then untuck your pelvis, allow the back of the pelvis to land back to the top of your towels, low back curve subtly lifts. Remember, when we tuck, our feet stay light, and when we tilt, our ribs stay relaxed. So if you need to transition your hands onto your ribs and focus on what's staying stable, go ahead and do it. But let's just try this 3 more times, subtly tucking our pelvis, noticing in our belly that the belly's staying relaxed, it's not punching up or pushing to create that tuck, and then tilting, allowing the pelvis to land back to the top of the roller. 2 more times, subtly tucking and tilting. Taking a breath in, let's add our breath. Exhale and tucking. Taking a subtle breath in. Exhale and tilting. So now find your space between your tuck and your tilt. That's your neutral home base for your pelvis. One hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. I want you to take 3 slightly slower than normal breaths into the front and back of your body, as if you could expand your diaphragm in only 2 dimensions, from the midline up to both hands and down along the roller. Trying your second breath, slowly breathing into the front and back bodies, expanding your torso. Breathing out, allowing your body to rest to the midline. One more time. Slow breathing in and breathing out. Now place both hands on the sides of your ribs, taking 3 slightly slower than normal breaths into the sides of your body. If you can, breathing in through your nose. You can breathe out through your nose or your mouth. Right? Breathing in, remember, it's just our act of thinking about breathing in a direction that's really going to alter the nervous system. Notice if your mind wanders away, come back to your breath. Try to just think about breathing in and sensing the expansion widthwise. And breathing out and feeling your body return. Now take one hand down onto your pubic bone, one hand over the base of your throat or your collarbones, and this time take a breath that goes all the way past your pubic bone into your pelvic floor, all the way up to the top of the collarbones, top of the lungs, and then breathing out and feeling your body go back to the midline. Again, breathing length. And breathing out, feeling the weight of the back of the pelvis. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. So now we're going to try to find our core reflex. Remember which sound worked for you, your SH, SE, or HA sound. Let's go ahead and take a nice 6-sided breath into all 6 sides of our body. And then make your SH, SE, or HA sound. Shh. Feel that hugging action. Force it into your mind. Inhale, breathing expansion. Try it one more time. Shh. Feel the pelvic floor, the back body, the front body. This time take a 6-sided breath. Don't make any sound. Let your natural exhale initiate the breath, and then feel and follow that contraction. I always imagine a kid swinging on a swing, and when I'm inhaling, it's like the child is coming back into my hands, and as I exhale, they're already in the swing phase, and I'm just giving them that extra little push to actually go a little bit further in the sensation. Okay, so keep your mind on that subtle engagement. Anytime you exhale, just draw your attention into the core. Take your arms up into the air. Now the tendency is to bring our arms straight up over our shoulders. I want you to take your arms and just angle them down, like as if you're holding a box over your pelvis, like you're holding a gift over your hips. And then with the arms in that angle, think about reaching your arms up toward the ceiling so that your fingertips are kind of angled upward. Shoulder blades have just flared around the rib wall. And now just allow the skeletal weight of your shoulder girdle to just relax back along the side of your towels. Try again, reaching up, allowing the shoulder girdle to move around the ribs, and then allow the shoulder girdle to sink. Let's try that 5 or 6 more times, reaching the shoulder girdle up, and then letting the shoulder girdle come down. Now notice if instead of moving your shoulder blades, make sure that what you're not doing is moving your elbows. A lot of times people will just move their elbows up and down, really thinking it's from the back body. Can you regain connection to that tiny little bit of motion of the scapula, your shoulder blades, along the side of the rib wall, reaching up and reaching down, noticing if you're shrugging or anything's going on in your chest, just a nice subtle motion up, and then allowing the shoulder girdle go down. Let's go one more time with that motion. This is a nice, easy way to rehydrate the tissue between the shoulder girdle and the rib wall. shoulder blade reach. Now, let the shoulder girdle come down along the side of the body. Take your arms and just allow them to open up until your elbows drop to the ground. And once you feel your upper arm and your elbows drop to the ground, I want you to just kind of see if you can see your hands in your peripheral vision. And where I want you to really feel like your hands are more in line with your hips. So notice how I just kind of brought my hands along the side of my body, and then I'm kind of angling my hands more down toward my hips. Okay, so take a look at that angle. And now to lengthen the tissue, I want you to energize your fingers away from your torso and just let your elbows float away from the ground. So now your arms are being held in space. You're going to use muscle to lengthen your fascia. I really want you to feel you're reaching your fingers. Feel that tensional pull in your arms. That's the fascia that we want to hydrate, and we're going to hydrate it through a technique called neural flossing. We're going to extend our right wrist and flex our left wrist, and then extend the left wrist and flex the right. I kind of imagine like I'm tossing a ball from one hand and catching it and bringing it down to the other. I just want you to move from the wrist, noticing if you're doing that from your fingers, just the wrists are moving, and noticing that pull that you're feeling in your arms, still energizing your wrists away from your elbows away from your shoulders, shoulders away from your chest. Make a fist and do that motion. This is called double arm reach, and this is a great way to rehydrate the tissue along the fascial lines that attach our arms to our torso. We can also take our palms, turn them upside down, energize our thumbs away from the elbows, again energizing the arms, and just gently flexing and extending our wrists. We can again make fists, noticing how that isolates the movement a little bit more to your forearms. If you have a lot of fascial tension living in your forearms, that could be a key culprit to neck pain. It feels far away from your neck, but it's definitely one of those culprits. Now go ahead and just allow your arms to set down to the ground. Place your palms down to the floor, but allow your forearms to stay off the ground. Really crawl your arms away so just your palms are there. Nose tips up. Slightly turn your head to the right and energize your left fingers away from that right head turn. Breathe in and see if you can feel that fascial pull down your left arm. And then bring your head back to center. Subtly turn your head to the left. Don't go too far. Energize your right fingers away from that subtle left head turn. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's try it one more time. Maybe this time turn your palms faced up. Turn your head to the right. Again, breathing length into your left arm. And then exhale. And then turn your head to the left and breathe in, energizing those right fingers away from your right shoulder. Let the shoulder girdle stay relaxed. And exhale and bring your body back to center. Okay, so take your body, nice and slow. You're going to roll yourself off of your roller and just slide the roller out from underneath you. Keep your knees bent, but I want you to take your towels and just place them right behind your head, right behind the skull. And with the roller here, with your towel right behind your neck, we're going to do one move called a neck release. Now that we've got a little bit of hydration up into our cervical spine, we don't have the roller to do shearing, but all I want you to do is just subtly and slightly nod your head down. Now, I don't want you to feel like you've lost any space into the front of the neck. Just a subtle nod down and take a slow breath into your core. Exhale, find the core reflex, and then subtly lift your chin up, keeping the shoulders relaxed in that same position. Take a breath in. And exhale, find your core, and again, subtly nod your nose down just a little bit. One more time, take a breath in. Exhale, find your core, and subtly tip your chin up. And one more time, take a breath in. And exhale, and subtly nod your nose down. Okay, get rid of your towels, and let's go ahead and reassess. Lie flat on your back, palms up, arms and legs extended. Now, tune into your masses and spaces, and remember the common imbalances we're trying to resolve. And this time, because we added some upper body hydration, let's see if we've made some changes. Notice if your upper body masses just feel more weighted and relaxed to the floor. And if you started off feeling like most or all of your back weight was on your shoulder blades, notice if your shoulder girdle feels more wide to the ground, and if you're actually feeling more weight between the shoulder blades and below the shoulder blades, feeling more rib weight. That would be a nice change and showing hydration changes in your connective tissue in your upper body. If you started off feeling like you had a lot of tension in your mid-torso, notice if your mid-back is a little bit more relaxed, if you're feeling more of a lift lower in the low back, if you're feeling more butt cheeks rather than tailbone on the ground, or if the back of thigh masses have settled to the floor, if you're feeling less tension in your legs in general, all great signs of restoring natural balance through just doing these subtle techniques. And remember, divide yourself into a left and a right half. We're really trying to key into helping the autopilot resolve its imbalances. So if you started off feeling very offset from left to right, if you're feeling more balanced from left to right, also great changes that we're making without even using the melt products. And turn your head left and right. If you freed up range, decreased pain, or you feel like your shoulders stay more relaxed, just from adding a few rehydrate techniques of length, you're going to blow your mind when you start adding the roller and start doing the compression techniques that are really valuable to restoring hydration to your fascia. Bend your knees, roll yourself on your side, and come on up to sitting. So now we've added a few lengthening techniques. We added shoulder blade reach to try to rehydrate some of the fluid flow between your shoulder girdle and your rib wall, which for many of us is left very restricted and dehydrated from our daily postures of sitting or playing athletics, lifting weights. We also did the double arm reach. What a powerful way to actually rehydrate the fascial continuum, these fascial sleeves that actually invest the torso and can oftentimes be key culprits to cervical pain. So if you felt a lot of tensional pull in your forearms, that's another reason why I want you to have the hand and foot kit so that we can actually draw some fluid flow to the sneaky culprits of our hands and our forearms to actually restore cervical stability and shoulder mobility. I also gave you guys a move called neck turn reach, a way to cause fascial tension along the arm lines to release the neck. And then we did a subtle tractioning of the cervical spine to try to draw some more fluid flow and support to your cervical spine. So if you went to reassess and you noticed that your masses were more relaxed to the ground, your alignment more ideal, and your autopilot more connected to your center of gravity or your neck turn had improved, you're already becoming a great hands-off body worker using the method of melt to restore autopilot efficiency. This is a really tremendous thing that you're already doing. Now tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and add this treatment to a lower body technique. So I'm going to teach you guys some lower body length moves, and then we'll add it to the rebalance sequence. I hope that you enjoy our class tomorrow. Happy melting.